Hey everybody, Rock DIY. I'm sitting here with my Kubota BX23S. New day, new problem. So one thing that I learned or realized a while ago, I was getting off the tractor, and I typically get off on the left side because it's more open than the right side. But in this case, I had gotten off the right-hand side, and unknown to me, my pocket had caught onto this lever and pushed it down into neutral. But I didn't know that. I realized I had no power forward, back. The engine would rev, but it didn't budge at all. It didn't take me too long to figure it out, but it was simply just this shift knob right here was in neutral. But today I got a whole new situation where while operating it, I noticed that there was a loss of power going forward and then going in reverse. Even though the RPMs were way up, I almost had no reverse. And then just as I parked it, I now have no forward nor reverse. And one of the things that I'm seeing in the gas and brake pedal is that the gas pedal is sticking down, but also when I push on the brake pedal, it sticks in the down position. I'm hoping it's something simple, and I'm now going to try to figure it out. And there's no issue with engine oil or hydraulic fluid, none of that. And I've been doing my maintenance and checking the tractor out, so not 100% sure right now what the issue may be, but I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna start it up and see if I have any forward or reverse on it. It appears I have a little bit of forward and a tiny bit of reverse. And you may have seen that I was actually flooring the gas pedal and fully pushing the reverse. And in reverse, it was barely moving. A little bit more on going forward. So normally, when I push on the forward and reverse pedals, they kind of spring back into place. You can see they're kind of sluggish and slow moving. So this is the underside. You can see it goes in and out. Feels like there's no issue. If you look back as far as you can from there, can't really see much, but if you go over here, right where the HST filter is, hopefully you can see it, right there. The nut is missing from the bolt that holds the linkage in place. Need to get a new nut on there. Probably the only way to get to it is take the under plate off and probably take the HST filter out. But yeah, the nut's off of it. And from underneath, you would actually think that it's working the way that it's supposed to. This is everything that I needed for this job. So I have the 5/16 24 UNF nut, a flat washer, but it's I'm just using this as an example because I just finished putting it on the tractor. So this would be a split locking washer, a 11 millimeter wrench, 13 millimeter wrench, a long tip screwdriver, pliers, some Permatex thread locker, and I'll explain this part in a second. Rather than removing the rear tire, removing one of the underplates, and also removing the HST filter, I didn't remove any of those in order to do this. The total job took about 20 minutes, and it's only because I had to make some tools, if you want to call them that. And so this first hard wire right here, I used this to put the washer on it, and then I used this blue tack. It's like a gummy tape. I used that by putting it here on the tip just to kind of keep it in place. Otherwise it keeps falling off. And what I use that for, and this is just an example. So the washer was sitting here with the sticky tape, and then I basically just balanced it in place until I got it over the bolt. And let's just say this is the bolt. So I had it on there, and I basically hovered it over the bolt until I got it close. And then once the washer is sitting, on the end of the bolt, I use this long tip screwdriver to push it in. So once the washer was in place, then what I did is I took another piece of hard wire and basically formed it around the nut, and then I also stuck some sticky tape on it. Once the nut was in place with the sticky tape, went from underneath. So once the nut was in place, I took the flat tip screwdriver and kind of pushed it against the bolt so that it would give me some pressure to allow it to thread. And then using this wire that's formed around the nut, I was able to actually turn it sort of like a wrench, but without having the bulkiness of the wrench. And then once I knew it kind of caught the threads, I was able to turn it slowly with the flat tip screwdriver. And once I knew it was on there, I took my 13 millimeter wrench, but you also have to use an 11 millimeter wrench for the other side of the bolt in place on this end with the 11 millimeter wrench, and then turn the nut with the 13 millimeter wrench until it was locked down. And that's it. Please like, comment, or subscribe. Thanks again.